basically over the past few months or so, we are really struggling from our normal kind of suppliers to get, PPE, sterile gloves. They're just always like, okay, 6 to 8 weeks is going to take to get these kind of things.
Really?
And we've been using them for these companies for years, right?
Yes.
And it got to the stage there where I was just saying, to the receptionist and things, we need to find other suppliers and get other, some other kind of ways to get this PPE in. And you speak to, we find out a number of these kind of companies that seem to be established in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly you ask them and you're like, oh, I'd like a box of, say, 100 sterile gloves, right? And they're like, oh, we're doing a special deal. Would you like 400? Would you like 800 pairs?
Yes.
Would you like? And then you kind of look at it, and then you look a bit more into the background of these companies, and you kind of find, oh, wait a second, these are the ones that have been talked about, that they've suddenly got contracts and things like that.
So some of these companies were getting government contracts within days of being, what's the word? I can't remember the fancy word. It's not inaugurated. But anyway, set up is layman's speak for it.
Yeah, so I mean, this is like creates a huge problem for us now, because we're kind of, we've been using other companies for years. They're established, PPE suppliers and things like that, and it's kind of like their business is now getting damaged, right? Because we can't have it that we don't have patients coming in. We can't say to them, oh, sorry, I've got no sterile gloves, so I can't take your wisdom teeth out now, for example, right?
Yeah.
So you're then forced to use these other companies, which are basically from the Tories, like cronyism type companies, right? And they've got their contracts. Suddenly you get a whole load of of their PPE arriving, and none of it is like, made in the UK. They've kind of
you remember the Turkish? We've forgotten, haven't we? The massive plane load of PPE that was supposed to be coming in from Turkey, and the government were bigging it up left, right and centre, and then it landed, and it turned out it had been put together by Derek Trotter's Turkish cousin, and none of it was fit for purpose. Yeah,
so there's two labels on a packet, and it says ethylene oxide sterilisation or steam sterilisation, and they're meant to sterilise PPE with EO, and it kind of, this arrow changes colour on it when it's been sterilised.
Right.
But you get that PPE, and the arrow's the colour that it's not been sterilised. So you kind of look at it and think, I wish we could still use the guys that we've been using, but they just can't get anything because everything's being diverted to these like brand new companies.
And that is why, because the relevance to the conversation we're having about Dyson and ventilators and leaks is that the government the government clearly chose to for reasons that I can't work out yet, although I have some theories, to go after or to go for companies with no experience whatsoever of doing this, but with connections to the government. You can call it cronyism, you can call it corruption, you can call it whatever you want, but why would they not get in touch with people with a track record of making ventilators and instead offer sweeteners to people with no track record at all?
Yeah, and they're kind of making it seem like, oh, well, you shouldn't have talked about it.
Yes.
It's like, well, actually, yeah, they should have, because now, a lot of these companies that have no voice, they're now suddenly gonna be like, oh, well, sorry guys, we can't supply you with, XYZ, PPE or whatever, and